Hello, everybody, especially you. Welcome back to my channel where I have a new video for you to enjoy. So, here we have Zbrush. This I just didn't want to jump right in and start sculpting the night without you understanding. Maybe if this is your first time in this arena, I can give you some pointers. So, Maya, the program I've been using before, right here, this is mainly used for low polygon work, like I'm building the pawns and the rooks and the pieces of the chessboard, and they're only like 200 polygons each, maybe more. And remember, a polygon is one little square. So Zbrush deals with high resolution sculpting. So we deal with much higher counts of polygons. There she goes, opening the door again. Didn't even warn me. So, I'll do whatever I can to get rid of that. But let's explain what we got going here today. I just got off work, a 13-hour shift at the studio, and that's the norm when you work in the video game industry and it's crunch time because your game's about to release. So anyway, I was trying to get into playing a video game, but I couldn't. And I figured I'd give you guys a little video just to hold you over till the night video. So, Zbrush, high resolution sculpting. High resolution sculpting. Here you see 43,316. That is right there. See how small these polygons are? It's ridiculous. So in high resolution, we use this to create the fine details, scratches, or we can use it to get a nice, beautiful surface instead of this jagged, faceted edge. You see here, this is one polygon. It's a very faceted design, which is okay because this design is of a star. However, this is a sphere. And in order to get a sphere that shape, you need a lot So, in this program, we've got this window that we can sit on. This is our canvas. Here is where all the magic happens. And everybody likes a little magic. Now, this is a sphere, but actually, let me get the pawn, and I can show you on the pawn. I've wrapped my microphone again. I don't know if it helped last time, but maybe you could let me know. Here we go. This is my Wacom tablet. Wacom, however you want to pronounce it. The sound you're hearing is the eraser right here. Whoops. So, pawn. We're going to export this. To my desktop, just for simplicity's sake. OBJ. Not turned on. How helpful. Well, this happens every time we need a certain plugin. There it is. Load it, auto load it every time we open Maya. Close. I'm using my tablet and my pen, which has no click, so it might be a little quieter today. Desktop. OBJ, where are you? There you are. This might be random, but I watched a video today about a lady's Disney movie collection. I can't remember her name. And I also have a fascination with collecting movies, and I think I'd like to do a video about my movie collection, which is horrendously out of order. So we could spend some time alphabetically sorting them, maybe putting Mission Impossible 1 next to Mission Impossible 2, stuff like that. So, voila, there is our pawn, your pawn. The pawn that's going to be devastating the chessboard. Whether it be King's Gambit, or maybe it's just defending the king in his castle. So, if you recall, our chess set has these ridges. It's also nice and smooth, so smooth, which ours isn't. It's quite faceted, so let's fix that. In ZBrush, you have brushes over here. This is your brush palette. You can access it by pressing over here or just pressing B. Now, I'm using the standard brush, which just creates, it's just a general addition of clay. I just turned on symmetry. So, we probably want yeah, there we go. Radial symmetry as well. Okay. It just generally adds this rounded clay. We have other brushes. There's some really main ones. I like the standard. My favorite brush is clay buildup or clay tubes. Just beautiful. It's like traditional clay, actually sculpting with clay. You can create nice forms. You can get, big broad strokes done. Let's say you can see how it just adds one little spot. It doesn't, if I go over the same spot, it won't keep adding. But if I use clay buildup, it will. Same shape, but it will continually build up. So, got somewhat of a face here. Or other things if you're so inclined to think like that. You can, gosh, that nose is horrendous. You can use it, all these brushes, to your advantage. To create whatever you want, really. Now, there is such things as additive sculpting, which adds clay, and there is subtractive, which digs into and cuts away at the mesh. So, you can get nice fine edges. Let's say we have this, but we want this to be more flat. We will use our H polish, hard polish, heavy, and just really give it a nice top there. Now, because we only have 43,000 polygons, they're getting a little crunchy. So, to fix that, over in the Geometry tab, we need to divide the mesh. Now, this is You need to do this in a special way. But we'll talk about that later. Dividing gives more resolution to the mesh in multiples of 4. So you see now, this is what it was, and we divided it. This is what it is now. More resolution, higher resolution, and we can use the pinch brush. This brush pulls everything to the center of the brush. Gives you nice sharp edges. Let's say the top of the lip or the eyelid. If you ever look really closely at your eyelids, or if you're staring into someone's eyes, look at their eyelid. It is extremely flat and very sharp. It's got a very sharp edge, not like knife sharp, but when we're talking about organics, there's almost nothing smoother on the body, the human body. So you'll see where this brush comes in handy, and you can see it pull if we just turn on the mesh. Watch this. See how it just sucks everything in? It's really handy. So we demonstrated a few brushes. Now that will pull out. Now look at this. Let's say you've got your nasal wing on your nose. That's your nostril, and that's essentially your nasal wing is your nostril. So where it creases and curves around, you can get a nice crease like this. Look at that. Gorgeous. There's different things like that. There's also a brush called the Damien Standard. A guy named Damien created this brush. BDS. S is full of stupendous brushes. This gives a beautiful crease. Just a gorgeous. This is good for like wrinkles, any sort of, you've got the side of a birch tree, any tree with bark as well, the brain. There's tons of different reasons why you would want something that gives such a fine crevice. And as well, in the subtractive. Now, this pushes out when you go in subtractive mode, because initially the brush pushes in. So, now that you know these things, we can look at this. Now, if we want some detail, to be similar, like we saw in the photograph, then we need to set ourselves up like so and get the right. There we go. This allows me to have symmetry on different points of the mesh so that I can make the same stroke everywhere. That way there's a bit of, it cuts out a lot of the steps. Now 8, 8. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5 here, so let's say 5, 10, 15. Let's say there's about 15. Now, boom. Okay. Mesh is a little messy. See? It's very low poly, 17. It's smaller. Let's use a smaller brush size. We just go down. Now, as you can see, the mesh was a little dirty, and that's because of the distribution of the polygons. So, I'm just going to fix that by equalizing the mesh. Dynamesh is a feature they added a little while ago. It calculates the surface and the tension, like you see here. There's a lot of tension here because of this ridge. So it calculates the needed strength of polygons to retain that. But it adds an even distribution of information. So now we can go like this. And then they come down and they cross 1, 2, they touch 3. 2, 3. But they're quite deep, I would assume. So, and they're more it's more like this. So, they're not square. So, if we do this, we get this design onto the could go in, clean it up, maybe dirty it up a bit, so it's not so uniform. We could really get a little small bit creative instead of, just drawing a line across the mesh. Because I'm sure they weren't being so precise when they first made those cuts. This is the move brush. It just takes what's underneath and nudges it. This brush is probably one of the most powerful that you'll ever use. So, we've got these lines. And it's not so bad. I mean, obviously we did it very hasty, so they don't have the same shape. So you can then go in after, really clean up the edges. We have the H polish. This is used just to straighten out some of these. We can go back to the standard. See, when I did it, I just went like this. But that caused it to be cut into the mesh improperly, so I should have done it from this angle. But just demoing really quickly, and then you've got, oops, how many? Oh, quite a lot. So let's get a nice high count here. Let's go like 26. Even more. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. We can go like this. Just be gentle. want to be precise, but you don't want to be excessive. And this is all just practice. See, we're crooked. Even though I was like precise. So, I mean, when we finally get to this part, we'll be much more precise. And then just general creasing. So we can go back to the pinch brush. It's not this sharp, remember? We make it that sharp, then we smooth it out. There. We make it that sharp, then we smooth it out. Just like they made in the factory. And we have this bottom piece. It just changes everything. High resolution sculpting. You get all these details. You know? And then oh no. Okay. You get all these details and then we gotta bake it down, which is another fun method. And I can show you that later, so we can get all this detail to show on this low poly model. So, using these brushes and the info, we will make the night next time and practice a little more. Yeah, we'll make the night and then we'll move on. But we'll keep the night at a high poly, and then I'll show you how to retopologize in Maya when we're done. So I may have been a little scattered. I just kind of wung it here. I just got home and decided to do something. So I hope this was interesting to be able to see another step in the process of a digital model. Yeah, I hope you have a good evening or a good morning, or maybe you called in sick and you need to relax. Just watch the videos and fall asleep. So take care, everybody, and